Well, 2 years after a deadly shooting, the court case moves forward for the suspect or suspected accomplice of what deputies say was a staged home invasion murder. As West 2's David Jones reports, 2 men were arrested in an Orange County mother's killing, and one has now been transferred into Orange County custody.
Investigators say 30-year-old mother Porsche Streeter ran a hairdressing business from her apartment, which became a crime scene in January 2024. Deputies responded to find Streeter shot to death and her boyfriend, 32-year-old Son Range Jr., who was shot in his upper arm. A year and some change later, the Orange County Sheriff's Office arrested Range for the killing, saying he orchestrated the whole thing, along with Benjamin Garman, making it all look like a home invasion.
You're now in a situation where you are looking at life in prison.
Criminal defense attorney Trey Flynn, who's unassociated with the case, says the brutal nature of the killing elevates it.
This is a very, very, very serious crime. In this situation, Mr. Garman is alleged to have shot somebody not just one time, but 10 times. And what does that mean? That means there's an aggravation there in this sort of homicide case. You're not going to be able to claim self-defense in this sort of situation.
This new mugshot of Garman was taken when he was transferred to Orange County custody. He was previously being held out of county on federal weapons charges, to which he pled guilty.
They executed the search warrants on a residence that he was at after the homicide took place. During that time, they located firearms in the residence, and the federal prosecutors felt, hey, as a convicted felon, as somebody possessing firearms, this is a case that is of interest of us.
Investigators allege Range and Garman set up the home invasion killing because of a custody dispute between Range and Streeter over their shared children, and because Range said Streeter was hiding money from him. David Jones, West 2 News.
Well, Garman's arraignment is scheduled for January 26. We have reached out to the state attorney's office for an update on Range. Of course, we will let you know as soon as we hear back.
This is the book of Job, chapter 8, verse 20. Behold, the Most High will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers. Kol Holayim La, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat, Quadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. Job chapter 8, verse 20. Behold, the Most High will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evil doers. And this is a clear depiction, a clear example of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai bringing forth judgment upon the evildoers. Okay, one got called back to the spiritual realm, and two got put in Esau's judicial structure, his system, his adult detention center. Okay, because nobody perishes being innocent, which we'll grab here in a few seconds. Matter of fact, we're not going to grab it. We'll just we'll speak on it. Nobody perishes being innocent. So everything that happened in this situation was ordained and brought forth from and by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because the Lord said he would judge our people first, because our people cleave on to what's evil, what's wicked, what's perverse, what's not of righteousness, which is not of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so you women love these fake thugs, these nobody Negroes, these POSs. You love a project. You want to formulate and construct that man to your desire. When you can't change people have to want to change themselves, man. Okay? Period, man. So the Lord brought judgment upon 3 evildoers. 1 got called back to the spiritual realm, and 2 got put in Esau's chains, jail, penitentiary, the feds, wherever they're going to go. Okay? Point blank period. And this was all done for the love of money. And this was very, very selfish for this, nigga, because that's what he is, man. For this nigga to literally be emotional and not logical, from basically taking himself and the mother of your children from having a solid foundation from both parents, which we already know. Obviously we know that those children was going to be jacked up anyway, but this is also going to cause more trauma, more mental and spiritual destruction towards these children, man. Okay, because this Jake was literally jealous and envious because his woman was doing more than him and actually having a certain type of currency that she basically lied about. But at the end of the day, again, you wanted this man. Okay, well let's grab some more precepts. A lot here. The points are going to be made, man. I don't want to rock this out, man. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'm going to read verse 10, but I'm going to read a portion of it. 1 Timothy 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which some have coveted after. Again, that was the main agenda with this Jake. His love of money, instead of him being motivated and him activating his, as they say, your hustle, your grind in a society, you had an envious, jealous spirit that your woman was accomplishing and increasing and motivated and focused and hustling to make ends meet, not only for herself, but for y'all children. Okay? And again, I'm not going to take nobody's side, because both of these people, the woman, the man, and the other man that he actually sat down and formulated a plan with, they're all wicked. Point blank period, they're all wicked. But as men in general, you should have some type of structure, some type of plan, some type of way to be able to survive. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, man. You're not going to be able to... The only way you're going to be able to prosper and have a certain type of tax bracket in this society is if you bend over and take it from Esau. If you basically have something that Esau can benefit from, which a lot of you niggas don't, to be clear and cut and straight to the point. Okay? 1 Timothy 6, verse 10. For the love of many is the root of all evil. And this was evil. Again, for you simple-minded fake thugs, man. For you to sit down with another nigga, another Negro, another, POS, to formulate and construct a plan to take out your woman because she wasn't truthful about what she had in her savings or in her safe, whatever it may be. I don't know. That's wicked, man. Because again, it shows, hey man, this is a prime example of what? Men shall be lovers of their own selves, man. This is part of prophecy. Because you're not thinking about the benefit, the mindset, okay, the nurturing of your children, of not having a mother there, and also not you. Because Esau has, figured it out. And now you're in jail. And, you was fighting for custody of your children. And, again, both parties are to blame. Neither one of y'all should have custody of these children. Because these children ain't going to be raised right. But let's continue with the precepts, man. Because at the end of the day, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua brought forth the judgment, man. It was ordained and commanded from and by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verses 6 to 7. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. So the Lord has power over life and death. It's not no coincidence. It's not an accident. It's not Satan. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi that's bringing forth the judgment. Period. There's no in between. There's no maybe, if, and, what, but. No. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi that's doing everything upon the earth, man. Okay? Period. And everybody is getting judged for how they live now and also their prior lives and also what the Lord ordained when they came back to the spiritual realm and how they would get judged in this time, man. Okay? Point blank period, man. So again, 1 Samuel 2 verse 6, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave. So the Lord called this young Israelite woman to be put in the grave, to come back to the spiritual realm for whatever reason he saw fit. Okay? And bringeth up. The Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. So the Lord didn't want you to have a certain type of a tax bracket, a certain type of currency to splurge, to think highly of yourself. Because a lot of you niggas, y'all chase the bag. That's your God. Is the Federal Reserve notes of this society. That's your God and yourself. Money and yourself. You don't acknowledge Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. You don't acknowledge a higher power, period. You acknowledge yourself and what you can achieve in this captivity, man. Okay? But the Lord makes poor. The Lord makes those rich. Okay? And the Lord did not ordain a majority of our people to have wealth, to have comfort, to have resources in this captivity. Okay? Period. But everybody is playing their lot out. In every single captivity, the lot that they played before, they're playing it again. Okay, but let's continue, man. Because, we're making these points. And, again, it goes back to you having a logical mindset to know that your children, they need you, obviously, too, as a man, and they need the mother. They need the whole family structure. And our people, whether it be man or woman, they don't love themselves, man. Our people are literally decaying away every single day, man. They don't love themselves. How you intake so-called food, which is chemicals, and if you're able to get organic, authentic, real food, you have to really intake and I can't think of the daggone word, but y'all know what I'm saying. You have to consume. That's the word we can use. You have to consume that food immediately. You can't preserve it for a week, 2 weeks, 3, even within a week. You have to really consume that food as quickly as possible. Okay? And with your interaction when it comes to adultery, because it's not sex, it's adultery. There's no prophylactics. There's no condoms for those that don't know the words I'm using. There's no protection. And then on top of that, y'all, you overconsume yourself with strong drink, wine, drugs. So our people don't love themselves. They don't value themselves. They don't see no worth in themselves. So how is a man in this point right here, how is a man going to see value, to love, to embrace himself, to do better for first and foremost for himself and for his children and for his legacy? It's not known, and it's not valuable to any of these men. So let's grab this, man. Because if you saw that in yourself, then you would see that, you know, your woman that you chose to build your legacy with, you would treat her as yourself, and which these Israelites are treating a woman as themselves, because they don't give a damn about themselves. They don't care about themselves. They hate themselves. So it's a reflection of how they see themselves. So these men, these Israelite men, really want to be put to death. They really want to continue to suffer. Okay, so this is Ephesians chapter 5, starting off at verse 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. And again, going back to what I just said, they don't love themselves. They don't love their bodies, because if they did, they would take care of their bodies. They would really worry about the intake with the food, their health, working out, you know, wanting to live, wanting to value to you know, prosper in the best way, which is going to be acceptable in this society. Okay, so ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth it, even as Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the church. And it's the opposite, because nobody cherishes their flesh. Nobody wants to take care of their flesh. Now you know, you have jakes that, you know, go to the gym, bodybuilding, this and that, you know, blah blah blah. But you know, these fake thugs, these YNs, these street Negroes, whether it be Northern Kingdom or Southern, they don't value themselves. They don't have that love for themselves to be able to dish it out to their wives to show forth, you know, I value myself and I value you because, you know, you complete me. You know, you do the parts that I can't do for our family that needs to be done. They don't look at things spiritual, logical, or carnal. And when I say that, I mean beneficial, okay, and righteousness. All right, period, man. Because again, going back to, you know, because in this day and age, these women choose who they open their legs up to. These women choose who they let bust off in them. These women choose who they want to deal with. Okay, because you have Esau to back you up. You have this society to have your back in every single aspect of life. But you women, you don't want a man that's, you know, about comfortability, about security, about investment towards the future, saving, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you want a man that's destructive, unstable, unpredictable, wicked. You want a man that's exciting, that's going to bring forth drama. So what does that mean? That means you cleave to evil, because evil is what? It's exciting. It's delightful to you. Psalms 52, and I'm going to read a couple of lines. Psalms 52 verse 3. Thou lovest evil more than good. And that's what it is. Our people, especially you women, when it comes to the men, you love the evil, wicked, fake thugs, unstable, emotional. Okay, the same mindset that you have type of Negroes, Hispanics, Native and Seminole Indians, man. That's what you love. And those men that you think are men, which are really children, okay, they're evil, they're wicked. That's what you love. Psalms 52 verse 3, thou lovest evil more than good. So, hey, you got what you wanted. You got and had seed by these. A lot of y'all have seed by these evil, wicked Negroes, man. Hispanics, Native and Seminole Indians. Y'all, it's delightful for y'all, man. Okay, but again, let's continue. Because again, this Jake, He was jealous. He was jealous and envious over his rib because he's a nobody. And you love that nobody. You had kids by this nobody. Again, I'm not taking sides on neither one because both sides are wicked as hell and both sides got what they deserve, man. Okay? This is St. James chapter 3, and I'm going to read this in the AMP. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exists, okay? For where jealousy and selfish ambition exists, because again, this Jake, he was a bum. He was a fucking loser. So he was jealous over his woman having more motion, as they say, more motivation, bringing home the bacon, as they say, stacking bread, and he wasn't doing shit. Okay? And you had a selfish ambition where you formulated a plan to take your woman's life over some fucking money. That is wicked, man. And again, you broads that deal with niggas like this, you get what you deserve, man. I don't feel sad for you. I'm not gonna shed a tear for you. Hey man, 2/3 gotta go, man. They gotta go. Period, man. This is what you chose, man. So those of you that the Lord have mercy upon, when all hell breaks loose and the men of Yahweh, the true, sincere, humble men of Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, have they pick of the litter, you ain't gonna get chosen, man. You're gonna have to suffer. Okay? St. James 3 verse 16 in the AMP, for where jealousy and selfish ambition exists, there is disorder. So it's literally disorder from this nigga to literally go to be a bitch. Just that's what this dude was. He was a fucking bitch. Literally, man. You a bitch. Because only weak, effeminate boys do stuff like this, man. Okay? Therefore is disorder, untrust, rebellion, and every evil thing and morally degrading practices and evil work, man. Because this man that his woman thought he was a man wasn't, man. And again, they both got what they deserve, man. And again, this evil, this judgment was brought forth and commanded from and by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So let's close out there, man, because the point is made, man. I ain't gonna keep on beating a dead horse. Isaiah 45. So everything that happens on the earth is of the Lord, whether it be righteousness or wickedness, whether it be light or dark. Isaiah 45, starting from verse 5. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no God besides me. I greeted thee, though thou hast not known me. And our people don't know the Lord. Even with the prophets declaring and speaking the truth, they reject it. They don't want to hear it. They want to cleave on to the customs, the lies, the philosophies of this world. Cool, no problem. We said it, you heard it, the blood's off our hands. Verse 6. That they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none besides me. I am Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and there is none else. So Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai is the one controlling everything that we see. There's no such thing as free will. There's no such thing as do without will. There's no such thing as you manifesting and creating your own destiny, man. No such thing, man. And we're telling you, but you still want to be rebellious. Oh, well. We ain't going to worry about how the ungodly is going to perish and be punished. We worried about Adawan Ratazah. Hopefully, we pray that we're righteous and we're of the predestinated lot. Verse 7. I am, Salakia, Isaiah 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil, like I just said prior. I, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, do all these things. So the Lord does all these things that we see brought forth and literally occurring upon the earth, man. And we understand. And that's why we're fearful. That's why we submit. That's why we have humility. And that's why we don't play around when it comes to this truth. We don't play around in general. We walk cautiously every single day, making sure we don't offend, transgress, go off. And if we do, we acknowledge it, we repent, and we ask the Lord for forgiveness, and we move forward, man. Adawan Ratazar. I hope and I pray that this was edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true sincere Aki and Wa'akwa. So with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom.